Welcome to part 3 of the Leading Sheep Electric Fencing webinar series, with this episode featuring some top tips from Gallagher's Rob Doro.
It's very important that when you go to do an electric fence installation that you actually talk to people that have been in the industry for some time, that have got the knowledge, that have got jobs on the ground that they have got proven results out of. And I think it's important you do that. There's certainly a lot of different products on the market, and then increasingly we see a lot of stuff being advertised on the internet, and people investing in those products, unfortunately they get them to find out that they're inadequate or they're of an inferior quality. So there's plenty of good guys out in the industry that you can talk to, and I just really push that point hard, is that you talk to people that know what they're doing. And it's a bit like building a house. If you get the foundations right, then we can continue to build on it from there on, sort of thing. So, I've been involved in jobs in the past where guys have done fence installations, and they've basically got all the work done, and they've asked us to come out and have a look at their job, and we've got out there and they haven't had earth wires under their gateways. They've had a machine in and dug all their trenches and everything, can run live wires through, but not carried their earth wires through. So. Very, very important that that we get that information right at the beginning. As I said earlier, earthing is one of the most critical things that will determine whether or not your electric fence system is going to work. A lot of people will say to me that I've got 500 star pickets in the fence, and they're all in the ground 400 mil in the ground. That I've got adequate enough earthing there. Well, the truth is that 300 or 400 mil in the ground, if it was on a black soil river flat, would be magic. But the fact that in a lot of the country where we're seeing these increased pressures, that top 300 mil soon dries out, and then we don't have any earthing at all. So, because for a system to work effectively, the circuit's got to be completed. So the animal touches the fence out in the paddock, then it's got to either travel through the ground back to the energizer to get a shock, or if in the case of an earth return, it would touch the live in the earth wire, and it would fast track that return to the energizer, so that the animal gets a much more direct shock. I was on a job north of India some time ago, and a guy had effectively had 7,500 kilovolts in his fence at the outer part of his property, yet the cattle weren't respecting the fence at all. They were just walking through it, and it was an all-live system. So the problem was that the energizer was that far away from where the animal was touching it that it physically couldn't carry the current back to complete the circuit. So the animal wasn't even getting a shock at all. Invest in quality products. I think it's there is a lot of good quality product in the market. There's a lot of new things coming to market all the time. I think it's very important that that when you make those investments, that you get products that are proven in the market. They have the ability to deliver what your expectation is, and that that they're coming from reputable suppliers. Electric fences are a proven cost-effective way to build more kilometres of fence. We know that we can build a lot more kilometres cheaper than what we can versus conventional fencing, and a lot of that's to do with we don't have to have our posts as close together as we do in conventional fencing. We don't have the same investment in wire as conventional fencing, and we know that when it's powered up properly and there's the right energies in the fence, that it can be much more effective than just standard conventional fencing. A well-designed fence delivers a sharp, short and memorable shock, and creates a psychological barrier.